I mean, it looks pretty good on the shelf from across the room in poorly lit conditions. Hello, and welcome to episode 9 of Mediocre Military Modeling. Two firsts for our video today. This is the first aircraft we'll be looking at on the channel, and it's also the first kit from Hasegawa we will be looking at. Now, I've grown to really like Hasegawa kits. They're probably my preferred kits for aircraft. They have a great range of aircraft, and they're simple, but they're not too simple. I find they hit a good balance between affordability and detail and ease of putting together. So I really like them. They're probably a little on the simpler side. They are pretty simple kits. And some of them, the detail might be lacking compared to some other high-end kits. Stuff like from Edward and their Profi series, or the higher-end series. But, again, I think it strikes a really good balance between value, detail, and ease of putting it together. So today we are going to be looking at their kit 1/48th scale. I generally do my vehicles in 1/35th scale and all my aircraft in 1/48th scale. I feel like that's kind of like the best bang for the buck as far as building models and detail and availability. Anyways, the plane here we'll be doing is a later variant of the famous Japanese Zero. This is the AM5C, so this is a later war version of the famous Zero, or infamous. Mostly, I believe the horsepower was updated a little bit. It was a little bit more powerful engine-wise, and I know they upgunned it. They put in heavier machine guns. There are 3 of them, I believe, 2 sticking out here on the wings, and then I believe 1 in the center here, and then 2 cannons on the wings. So a little bit upgunned compared to earlier versions of the Zero. Alright, so this kit, as I said at the beginning, it looks good on the shelf from a distance in low light. And it may even look okay right now as we're looking at it under light up close. But I had a lot of issues with the kit that weren't the kit's fault, they were my fault. And we're going to talk about those. So if you are building this kit, a couple things to note. On the A6M5C Zero, there were a couple, depending on who built it, your colors might be a little bit different and how you want to paint it. So Mitsubishi produced these, but I believe they're also produced under license by Nakajima, I believe. So the version here is the Nakajima one, so you're going to want the right paints. I believe the interior green and the outside greens are slightly different than the paint colors that Mitsubishi was using. Also the back here, you probably can't see it well in this model, partly due to my terrible job, but the Nakajima ones, I think, is that how you pronounce it? Yeah. The Nakajima ones, there's, with the transition between the bottom color and the top, it kind of slopes up in kind of a curve up to the back here, but on the Mitsubishi ones, it's just a straight line over. So just something to keep in mind if you're building this, what you want to do between the Nakajima, or if you want to do one that was Mitsubishi. Anyways, it's a cool plane. It's a cool late war Imperial Japanese military plane. I think the kit itself is fine. The detail is fine. Again, it wasn't super difficult to put together. Decals were nice. I put in the little antenna wire here. You don't really have to. And if you've got some skill, you can really, despite the simplicity of the kit, you can put together a nice plane. And like I said, this is probably the 3rd time I've said it now. From a distance and certain light, even with all the issues I had, it actually looks pretty good. But when we take a closer look and scrutinize it a little bit more, you'll see I messed up pretty bad on this kit. I want to reiterate, this isn't the kit's fault, this is my fault. So, putting the kit itself together, I had no problems. I think all of my issues occurred in painting. So I used these two colors. These are from MIG, Ammo, I believe. Yeah, Ammo colors. And I used Nakajima Interior Green for the interior. And then for the exterior, I used Nakajima Dark Green. Very specific. Now the undercoat, I forget what I used. This I used different paint. This is a Tamiya paint. I forget exactly what I used. Imperial Japanese Navy Gray, I think. And then for the wheel wells, I forget what it's called, but there's a certain interesting color apparently the Japanese used. Some kind of like metallic blue-green sort of color. I don't know if you can see it there. The underside turned out fine, in my opinion. Where I really messed up with paint-wise was the top here. And I had a lot of issues with this paint. I don't think it was the paint. I think it was my skill. But when I airbrushed this top paint coat on, it was like water. And it just was pooling, and it was dripping around to the underside, and it was really, really messy. And I suppose if I had more patience and skill, I would have just stopped there. I would have, I don't know, thinned the whole thing, cleared it off, and started over. But I kind of brute forced it, and I just kept spraying it on. And eventually it kind of worked out, but yeah, I didn't have a good experience putting this paint on. It was just way, way too watery, and it just had some issues. But let's take a closer look. So taking a closer look, you can actually see where the paint like pulled up, mostly here and over here, just various spots that it kind of pooled, and like right here doesn't look too great. And there's actually still like kind of dirt from my when I did my weathering. I do the whole thing in like a wash of clay, and then I let that dry, and then I take a wet cloth and I kind of wipe it off. And I don't think I got really all of it. You can look back here. That looks kind of weird. I didn't do a really great job there. I don't know what's going on there with the back. But yeah, the lines, of course, I'm never real good with my lines, but that looks real bad along there. And then right there, like again, aircraft aren't really my thing. I don't have as much experience doing aircraft as I do ground vehicles, but my paint job is just atrocious in my opinion. Now, where I really screwed up too is the cockpit. So I think what I tried to do here is I put the cockpit on, and then I think I tried to use putty to mask it. I covered it in putty, and then I think what happened in the time between the putty, you know, because it's not a liquid, but it will move a little bit, and I think it moved down a little bit, and it went over the plastic here. And so when I did the airbrushing, when I took the putty off, it ripped off all of this was bare again, and I was like, no big problem. I'll just paint that part, but somehow it just didn't line up with the paint that was airbrushed on, and it just looks like a mess. And then I sanded it all off to like kind of level it, and then I repainted it right, you know, around the cockpit, and that didn't work out, and it just looks bad. It just looks really bad. So yeah, I really, really kind of, I think, screwed up with the paint job. That even doesn't look good with the orange-yellow that they put on some of these late-war Japanese planes. Doesn't look great. I mean, you could tell what this plane is, obviously. The kit itself went together fine, but just atrocious paint job, in my opinion, for me. Just bad. So with this kit, what'll I give the kit itself? It was a good kit. I think I got this on sale. It was like $25. Not a bad kit at all. Decals went on just fine. I don't know. I always give kits just 3 stars. It's like I just never have any problems with my kits. I always think they're pretty decent. Maybe that's because I usually try to do a little bit of research prior. I don't know. I don't think there's any big historical inaccuracies with this kit, between the kit and the plane. So I don't know. I'll give it 3 stars. I didn't have any problems with it. So as for my job on this kit, we have 3 ratings here. My lowest rating is a autistically inclined 5th grader could do better. My second rating is I gave it that good old college try. And then the best rating I give myself is certified mediocre. And I've been on a streak lately. I've been giving myself a lot of certified mediocres. And this one's just bad in my opinion. So I'm going to give myself my rating, how I did on this kit, a artistically inclined 5th grader could do better, because my paint job is just atrocious on this kit. But if I turn out the lights and put it on the shelf, it doesn't look too bad, right? Thanks for watching. Looking at this Hasegawa Mitsubishi A6M5C 0 that I put together here. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.